We're covering the breaking news. Let's get it right out now to ABC's Tom Llamas, who has also been covering the Trump campaign for well over a year. Tom, you watched that speech tonight from Donald Trump along with the rest of us. I guess my question to you is, he very clearly was trying to do some outreach to Hillary Clinton personally after she called him to concede. But this is a woman who he has called nasty. He's called her the devil. He's called her a pathological liar. And he has promised to put her in jail. So how much of this outreach should we really buy?
Well, he did extend an olive branch in that speech. I do agree with you on that point, Dan. But you do also have to understand that at that same victory party, Trump supporters were chanting, "Lock her up, lock her up." It is a phrase and a chant that I have heard for hundreds of days now while covering Donald Trump. The shirts that are sold outside the Trump rallies say things about Hillary Clinton that I can't say on Nightline even at this hour because they are so explicit. The people who voted for Donald Trump have a true passion of hate for Hillary Clinton. Now, will Donald Trump try to pursue a prosecution? Will he reinvestigate what's been investigated by the FBI already? I would be surprised if he goes that far. I know he said it, I know he promised it, but it would not make sense for the country at this point. Now, he has won with a mandate tonight, Dan. You look at that map of the United States of America, and you see a lot of red. And Donald Trump can only thank one person, and that's himself. He worked as hard as anyone has ever worked to become president. He gave all those speeches. He had a very small campaign staff. He went through 3 different campaign management teams, but he was on that plane every single day, flying to all those states. If he sounded tired this morning, Dan, it's because he's been up from 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. for the last 4 or 5 days straight. I know because I've been with him, and I could tell when he's tired. And so he gave that speech. It was on the teleprompter. Somebody clearly wrote that for him. And then at the end, he kind of went off the cuff, and that was the true Trump, the real Trump. Now, the question is, a lot of people are asking, and I said this, during our special, a lot of people are asking, what happened tonight? I want to know what's going to happen tomorrow, because I truly think we don't know. Donald Trump is the king of the head fake. He'll say one thing, but he'll do something else. And we truly don't know what he'll do, Dan.
I mean, you followed him this whole time during his campaign. You saw his leadership style. Do you have any sense of what kind of presidential style this person is likely to have?
I don't see Donald Trump changing. He's 70 years old. He's very set in his ways. Not only does he have the White House, he has the Senate and he has the House of Representatives as well. So power is on his side. And he's been doing things his way. So why would he change now? If this was a successful formula, why change now? Especially at his age with everything he's learned in his life. Everything that he believes to be true. He said, I'm going to win. This is going to be Brexit plus. Nobody that has, a sterling reputation as a political analyst believed him, and yet he was right. So that, to me, tells me he's going to do things his way. Now, will he go after China? Will he go after Mexico? Setting those 2 countries up as economic boogeymen. We do so much trade with those countries, but he told his voters, his supporters, the reason why you've lost your job, the reason why you're down and out is because of these trade deals. We're going to rip up these trade deals. Well, what happens to the economy then? What happens? Do we enter another recession? We don't know. Is he going to bomb the hell out of ISIS like he just said? He says he knows more than the generals do. There are a lot of unknowns, Dan, and we'll see what happens when he gets to the White House. But I said this before, nobody on the planet knows what Donald Trump's going to do. Only Donald Trump. Yeah, and maybe not even Donald Trump at this point. Tom Llamas, who's been working so hard covering this campaign, thank you very much. I do want to turn now to Ana Navarro. You are a Republican strategist who very clearly and vocally came out and said you would not vote for Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. In fact, you voted for Hillary Clinton.
I did.
Your reaction to this bombshell tonight?
Well, look, I don't like Donald Trump as a person. I think he inserted division and hostility into this debate. That being said, I am an American first. At this point, his success is all of our success. It is our country's success. So I wish him success. I think he struck a good note tonight. I hope that he can continue towards that. I think that he needs to recognize we are an absolutely divided country. And I would be saying the exact same thing had Hillary Clinton won. We need to come together as a country. What we saw tonight is that we are 2 Americas. We are a white America and we are a non-white America. We are an educated America and we are the non-educated America. We have got to bridge that gap. We have got to unite as a country and move forward. And I think that what he does from now on will be a very important precedent on setting tone. Also, yes, he will have a Republican House and he will have a Republican Senate. But remember, not every Republican senator or House member voted for him or supports him. Some have stood up to him. Some have withdrawn their support. And if he exceeds himself, I can assure you that a Lindsey Graham, a John McCain will step away from him. I can assure you that Paul Ryan has got the moral compass to stand up to him the same way he would have stood up to Hillary Clinton had she exceeded her powers. So I think that while, yes, he's going to have a Republican House and probably a Republican Senate, it is not going to be a rubber stamp, and he needs to figure out how to compromise. He should call them in and he should get advice. He's never governed before. He doesn't know government. They do.
So many Americans have invested their hopes and dreams in Donald Trump, and he has promised very specific policy measures, including building a wall and getting the Mexican government to pay for it, banning Muslims, although he dialed that back and talked about extreme vetting, a secret plan to defeat ISIS. Can he actually do any of this, even though he has a Republican Congress?
Well, he can't do it without the help of the Congress. As you know, we are co-equal branches of government. We have checks and balances. So if he wants to build a wall, which requires a huge amount of appropriations, he needs to get buy-in and approval from Congress. I don't think he can do that. I will tell you one thing he can do, and he should do immediately upon getting elected, is he should revert back the policy on Cuba, because a group that he does owe tonight are the Cuban Americans in South Florida who voted for him at higher numbers than any other Hispanic group, probably delivered Florida for him, helped him get that state, helped him get the presidency, and he had promised them over and over again he would revert back to the previous policy before Obama changed it last March. That he can do through an executive order.